Hey you guys, before I got into the video, I just wanted to talk briefly about my new ebook, Zodiac Signs, Sex Language. Whether you're looking to improve your sex life and your dating life, or if you're just looking to expand your knowledge about astrology, this is definitely the right book for you. This book is meant to help you improve your sex life, your dating life, and your love life, your relationships, and to spice it up in the bedroom if need be, or to just once again help you learn more about astrology. So if you're interested in any of these things, if you're interested in learning about the different love languages and the different sex languages of the zodiac signs, definitely look into getting this book, Zodiac Signs, Sex Language, written by me, edited by me, and designed by me, Lamarr Townsend. So you can purchase this ebook on my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com, or you can purchase it on Amazon, on the Amazon Kindle ebook store, all right? Or just amazon.com. All right, into the video we go. Thank you for listening and watching. How to get with each of the 12 zodiac signs in a love relationship. If you've purchased this video, then I trust that you have the focus, patience, and dedication to listen and pay attention all the way through, or at least listen a couple times, alright? Now, if you purchased this video, you have it, or you should have it, for a lifetime, alright? So, feel free to listen to it however much you need to, but how to get with each of the 12 zodiac signs in a love relationship. Well, definitely I would recommend you first to purchase my ebook, Zodiac Signs, Sex Language, after you watch this video, to go even more in depth. But we're gonna just kind of go on the surface. We're not gonna go too deep. I think I'm going to leave the deep for the book, the ebook, Zodiac Sign, Sex Language. But it's important to remember where each of the 12 zodiac signs actually come from in terms of how they express and like to receive love. Let's start with the air signs, okay? Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. The air signs tend to express and like to receive love in the form of communication, okay? Because the air signs deal in that realm. They deal in the form of communication, intellect, the mind, okay? The air signs like to communicate. They like to feel understood. They like to feel intellectually understood. They also like to have a partner who can meet them at their same intellectual level, all right? The air signs tend to like to debate. They like a partner who doesn't mind debating, who can stick up for themselves. They tend to like to see how their partners react in different social situations, in different situations that require you to use your intellect and require you to think fast and think quick on your toes. To these things are fun, figuring things out, figuring people out like a puzzle. Like that's all the brain, that's all the mind, that's all needing to communicate, communicating ideas, communicating with people. Hey, help me figure this thing out really quickly. That is an air sign. So they need someone typically who is equally as communicative. Now, how to get with an Aquarius, Libra, and a Gemini is to be good at communication. How do you get with each one specifically, though? Well, let's start with Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus and Saturn. And Uranus is the planet that rules progression, technology, forward movement. So, especially in this day and age, Aquarius, it's good to exchange some type of communication, form of communication with Aquarius. Something that is kind of out of the norm, though, and eccentric, because Aquariuses tend to be out of the norm and eccentric. So, like, if you're first meeting them, like, ask for their Snapchat, or ask for do it on a platform where you can have clear, concise communication. I wouldn't do it on Instagram, although Instagram DMs can be cool, but there seems to always be kind of a disconnect. I would do something like Snapchat. It seems more personal, or maybe Kick or something, like an app or something technology related, social media related, because that's Uranus. but also, you know, it's something out of the norm, and it allows you to build up to more stronger forms of communication, such as text message or phone calls, you know what I'm saying, things like that. So understand that Aquariuses are an air sign, but they're an eccentric air sign, so they definitely like their alone time. They can be a little bit aloof, so this is not a person who is the most affectionate, all right, as well. Um, but start small, build up to big forms of communication. Get to know them through communication. Get to know their likes, their dislikes. Try not to move in too fast, because this is typically not someone who's going to allow you to move in too fast anyway. All right, and that's how you kind of get in with an Aquarius. Libra is ruled by Venus, okay? So Venus rules harmony, friendship, beauty, passion. Libras can be very, very social, okay? So these are the types of people who like to be out and about amongst people. They like to go to the movies, bars, you know, restaurants, clubs, dances, things like that, where they can be social one-on-one with you, but there's also social, you know, networking or social events going on around them as well. Now, Libras are really interesting because they can make friends anywhere they go. And they like to see how you react. Now, if you're really awkward, if they kind of have to coach you through, you know, that's gonna, you know, be awkward for them. Vice versa, if you try to kind of coach them through, just be balanced, be peaceful. Don't try to be too assertive, but also don't try to be too kind of beat around the bush, because these are people who can be kind of beat around the bush, who can be kind of not so straight to the point. So they tend to like people who are opposite to them, but not too opposite. All right, like because they tend to not be so assertive, they like people who are a little bit more assertive than they are, but not too assertive, right? Because they tend to kind of go along to get along, so they tend to not like to rock the boat. They kind of like people who rock the boat a little bit, who aren't afraid to rock the boat a little bit. But there's a balance. You know what I'm saying? No Libra is the same. You can always, how to get with a Libra. You can always, win brownie points by complimenting them, starting small, complimenting them, making small talk, getting to know them. They love small talk. They love, getting to know people. With a Libra, start small. You may not want to get his phone number immediately. It may take a few times, because they're probably not going to want to give up their information so quickly anyway. It may take a few times to get to that point, a few moments of small talk to finally get up to, hey, do you have Facebook? Hey, do you have this or that? Hey, what's your phone number? Slide it in. These are the types of people who are really good with segues and who like that. You know what I'm saying? They like that kind of smoothness. So, like if you're talking about, how you both like this type of particular beer or wine, say, oh, hey, what's your phone number? I think I'm going to the bar tomorrow. I'm going to this winery. I know this great winery, a couple blocks away. We should totally go. Like slide it in there. That like you'll definitely win brownie points that way, because you already are talking about something you both have in common. You already have Libra on your good side, because you're talking about something that Libra loves. Sorry about all of these noises. Jeez, so busy. Let me put this on mute. You're already talking about something that, Libra loves, that Libra's going to love. So, you got it. You've got it. All right. Gemini. Geminis love to talk, period. So, this is someone who has the gift of gab, but they are the masters of talkers. So you are going to have to be smart enough, wise enough, keen enough to steer the conversation to where you want it to go, because a Gemini can be really good at keeping it up in the air, keeping it in the limbo until you kind of grab it and bring it down and set, you know what I'm saying, and kind of claim it as your own. Or claim the idea as your own. Like a Gemini will kind of, Geminis are really swift and good at this. They'll kind of, allude to the idea, so that when you kind of finally say, hey, why don't we do this? It'll seem like it was your idea, but really it was the Gemini's idea. But they don't like having to do that. or having to feel like they have to do that. So it's always, they like people who can take control, but not do it in an assertive, controlling way, but more in an intellectual, remember, kind of way, a more, communicative. Hey, this conversation is going so great. Why don't we go to a nice coffee shop where we can hear each other, more clear? Hey, I want to go see that painting you're talking about at your house. Why don't we go to your house? Something like, you know what I'm saying? Like something like that. Where, and it, you know what I'm saying? And if you get pushback from the Gemini, no, not right now. I'm not ready to go home right now. Being okay, like seeing how you react to that. Because the Gemini's adaptable. Gemini's going to bounce right back from that and be like, oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, let's have more fun. But, that's them. How you react is going to make the difference. So, you know what I'm saying? Being able to go with the flow, being adaptable, all these things, and being able to keep up with Gemini is really important too, because they can definitely be hard to keep up with. But all of these things are super duper important when it comes to Gemini. Good communication, all of those great things. All right, let's move on to the fire signs. Aries. Now the fire signs, how to get with the fire signs is to try to not claim too much control. Give them the freedom to do and be as they please. But definitely don't be too clingy. Be supportive. They're very expressive, so they tend to like partners who are also equally as expressive and, kind of bold and brave and unapologetic and not afraid to be themselves, right? Aries is a zodiac sign that is definitely take charge, definitely dominant, definitely assertive. So they tend to like equally as dominant and as assertive people. Or it can be completely opposite, where an Aries actually likes someone who's more kind of demure, and can kind of snuff them out a bit, if that makes sense, right? And what I mean by that is kind of dim their flame a bit, kind of, calm them down, keep them cool, calm, and collected. But at the same time, that person has to have a little bit of passion, flair, and spice to them, or else it's just not going to last. It's not going to work, right? So definitely, someone who is comfortable with Aries taking control, because you constantly trying to take control over the situation, or if the Aries is not gonna fly. But definitely someone who doesn't back down, who isn't such a pushover. If the Aries says, no, I don't want to go there, I want to go here instead, and you don't like that place, but you constantly say, oh, okay, that's going to be pushover, behavior, and the Aries is constantly going to kind of peg you on that, probably. You know what I'm saying? A pushover isn't exactly attractive to an Aries. So they like people who are more assertive. They like people who are, bold, brave, and blunt. But also who, once again, give them the freedom to be who they are and do as they please. They like people who don't need attention, who kind of validate themselves, who are confident within themselves and don't need other people. They like an Aries likes the silent, confident kind of person. It intrigues them, because sometimes they feel like they have to be so like out there and so loud. Sometimes it intrigues them just to come across someone who isn't so, loud or rambunctious, I guess I'll say, Speaking of rambunctious, Sagittarius. How to get with the Sagittarius. Much like Aries, you have to give them the freedom, to do and be as they please, do what they want. You have to be able to keep up with them. Sagittarius are very quick, witty, always on the move, always on the go. Not the most quick to commit, Aries and Sagittarius. So understanding that as well, You know, you got to be in it for the long haul with the fire signs, typically, because they are. Very loyal, very passionate. But Sagittarius is not the most easiest sign to get to commit. I'd say it's the hardest sign to get to commit. But once a Sagittarius is all in, they're all in. All right, so understanding that from the jump. Not exerting too much control. Very important with the fire sign. You know, exhibiting that you have the ability to go with the flow, exhibiting that you have humor, you're funny. You know, Sagittarius love humor, because they themselves are very naturally humorous and witty and funny. So being funny will always, you know, give you brownie points with the Sag, but also being intelligent. They love intelligent humor. You know, that's going to give you brownie points. That's going to make them laugh, but that's also going to make them go, I like this guy. I like this girl. They're intelligent and they're funny. You know, like that's going to really give them, you know, that's going to give you a leg up with them. Being attractive helps, you know, and attractive can come in so many different qualities, not just looks, the way you dress, your mind, you know, because mind can be very attractive to a Sag. You know, they're ruled by Jupiter, so here we go, you know, here we have, you know, morality, religion, taboo subjects, expansion of the mind and awareness, the consciousness, knowledge. So this is a very intelligent person, and they appreciate people who are equally as intelligent, you know. So with Sag, I would say it's almost like a fire-air kind of element, you know, at the same time, which can be confusing and hard to keep up with. But you know, being able to keep up with them and being able to go with the flow, I think, but also giving them the freedom to do and be as they please, give you brownie points with the, and also being funny, you know, will give you brownie points with the Sag, and understanding their humor as well, and appreciating their humor. All right. Leo, here we have people who are very self-confident. Leo's ruled by the sun. So with a Leo, you know, Leos love affection, they love attention, but it has to be genuine, all right? It has to be genuine. They can totally tell when it's not genuine. They can totally tell when it's not fake or when there's an intention behind it. You know, they can tell the different varying degrees of, you know, attention and affection. You know what I'm saying? So being truthfully genuine is going to win brownie points with a Leo, absolutely. Proving your loyalty, proving your devotion to them. Not saying be a doormat, not saying, you know, be a pushover, but proving that you are loyal to them and only them, proving that you are devoted to them and only them. Leos like a little bit of passion, you know, in their situation. So, you know, being very passionate, not being afraid to meet their fire, maybe a little bit with fire, at least some cinnamon or spice, right? Some incense, you know, something like that. And, you know, just, you know, a big thing with the fire signs is not being a pushover. Don't be a pushover, but also don't be too stubborn. Don't be too kind of my way or the highway. You know your worth, I would say, with all the fire signs, you know. But each fire sign values, you know, different things. You know, Sagittarius values freedom. Aries values independence. And Leo values loyalty. So let's move on next to the earth signs. All right, the earth signs. And the earth signs, let's start with the Virgo. Virgo, how to get with a Virgo. Virgo's ruled by Mercury. This is a person who's very practical in their thought and their actions. Very smart and intelligent. Mercury is also rules Gemini. So here we have someone who's very intelligent and smart, and clearly, obviously, needs someone who's equally as intelligent and smart. This is someone who can be a bit shy and reserved. So they tend to like people who can draw out that kind of funness in them, who can draw out that, you know, fun, kind of curious, wondrous, yeah, kind of Mercury energy that they have, hidden underneath the surface, underneath all the books and homework and bills and, plans and, to-do lists that they have, but someone who's fun, who is intelligent, smart, but also someone who can get the work done. Someone who takes themselves seriously, who takes life, who takes work, who takes their money seriously. So you have to be on par with that, because typically Virgos are on par with that, and if they aren't, they're naturally going to be attracted to someone who is on par with that. All right, because these people are all about those types of things. This is typically what all the earth signs are all about: financial security, you know what I'm saying, having a job, having money, having a roof over your head, you know what I'm saying. All of these things matter to a Virgo. Not saying that, are the earth signs, not saying that the other stuff doesn't, but very sensual. So the earth signs tend to be very sensitive to sight, smell, taste, touch, and sight, smell, taste, touch. Which one am I? Sight, smell, taste, touch. What am I missing? Oh, and hearing. They're very sensitive to these things, the five senses, the earth signs. So they tend to be very sensual, seductive types of signs. The Virgos tend to be very sensual and seductive, very intelligent, they like people who are equally as intelligent. But Virgos tend to like someone who has a fun side but a serious side. Virgos tend to like, I won't say nerds or geeks, but definitely people who maybe have a nerdy side or a geeky side, so if you have, but also people who are like, have a little bit of chicness to them, and style and refinedness to them as well. Like, that's important for a Virgo. So, having style, but knowing that it's okay to be a bit geeky. It's okay, Virgo might actually find that attractive or endearing, you know what I'm saying? Depending on what it is. These people can be very critical, and very judgmental as well. But they also like people who don't care. They're like, and, so what? You're judging me, and I still want you. Like, that's going to be hot to a Virgo. Very sensual. Like, what I'm saying? Like, that's going to be, like, that personality can be very, appealing to a Virgo. Virgo's interesting because they can be appealed by that, but they can also be appealed by the really cool, kind of chill, maybe, intelligent guy who doesn't do too much, you know what I'm saying, who like never goes out, but that guy might be too boring for Virgo. It really depends. They like a balance between both. So having a balance between both will probably win you brownie points with a Virgo. All right. Let's move on to Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus, so here we have that kind of Libra energy, love, friendship, harmony, beauty. Tauruses are an earth sign, so once again, they love money, they love, financial security. Tauruses are people who love attention to detail. Wearing nice clothes is immediately going to attract a Taurus's eyes. Putting, attention into your looks, looking refined, that's automatically going to attract a Taurus's eyes. Tauruses tend to also like kind of bright colors like oranges, blues. They like patterns. They like when things visually make sense. They like when things visually catch their eye. So this is one thing to, kind of one way to catch a Taurus's eye. Now, how to keep them, Tauruses can be hard to read sometimes. So obviously having great conversation, but also being practical yourself, having goals, showing that you are ambitious, showing that you're not just someone who can dress nice and who looks nice, that there's more depth to you, that there's more than meets the eye. Remember, Taurus's polar opposite zodiac sign is Scorpio, so for goodness sakes, even for Taurus, there's more than meets the eye. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, looking good on the outside, keeping it tight, keeping it right, but also, having your inside, good too is important with a Taurus. So having depth to you, I would say, is very important when it comes to Taurus. Showing that you have goals, showing that you have ambitions, success is something that a Taurus is going to be attracted to, but, it's the ambition that Taurus is going to be attracted to the most. Like, okay, you're successful, but if you're successful and you hate what you do, or if you're successful and you got there in a really sneaky, kind of seedy way, well then, that might kind of, change it up a bit, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But if you kind of got it hustling and in a good legal way, meaning you kind of got up every morning and you kind of grinded hard, you started from the bottom, you worked your way to the top, that's going to really be attractive to a Taurus. So they like to know that. They like to see, okay, you've done something for yourself, you made something of yourself. I like that. So yes, Tauruses tend to be those types of people. And, Tauruses are really laid back kind of people. They're really simple. They don't require too much. They're not the most high maintenance. Sometimes they can be, but, yeah, someone who can kind of help them not be so stubborn, someone who can kind of help them see things from different perspectives, is really important. Like a partner who can help them be better, obviously, is really important. But a partner who's not too much afraid to challenge them. Because it's interesting, Taurus and Tarot is the card of the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is the card of switching between being the student and the teacher of life. So sometimes they can have trouble switching between those roles, at the right moments, Tauruses. Sometimes they can get stuck and stubborn in one role and being in one role. So having a partner that can help them kind of stumble out of, something like that would be really beneficial, I think, for a Taurus. On a deep level. Remember, we're thinking deep. Remember, Tauruses are deep, so. Alright, Capricorn. Capricorn, how to get with the Capricorn. Understanding that this person themselves are ambitious, this is a person who may not be the easiest to get to or, immediately or get with immediately. This is someone who you may have to go in with a plan, or something like that. These are hard workers, so admiring them typically for their work is a great way to kind of get in, I guess, with them. Or just kind of getting in with a commonality you may have with them, I think, because these are the types of people who kind of tend to hang out with people they have in common, they have things in common with, or people who are working towards the same goal or goals that they have, all right? So it really benefits if you have similar goals as them, or if you like have the same class or work schedule or something like that as them. But even that's not enough. It helps to have something in common with Capricorn for sure. If you don't have anything in common with Capricorn, then it's tough when you don't have any. It's tough when you don't have something in common with anyone, but it's tough when you don't have anything in common with the Capricorn. And I'm a Capricorn, so I can't even imagine me interacting with someone I don't have something in common or date. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have anything in common with a Capricorn, then one thing you probably have in common is money. So maybe start there. What things do you like to spend your money on? I don't know. Find something that you guys have in common, because you have to have something in common typically to be compatible. So I think it's finding that one thing that you have in common, and then building from there with the Capricorn. So that you can have that solid foundation, because otherwise, if you don't have that solid foundation with a Capricorn, it's going to be rocky. It's going to be tough. You have to build, you have to really get that solid, all right, my foot's in there, kind of moment. Otherwise, it's just going to be tough, So finding what you have in common for sure. Well, once again, kind of like Taurus, showing showing that you have your own goals, your own ambitions, your own kind of situation that you're going on and working towards, is really important. That's gonna, attract Capricorn the most. Having your own success, Capricorn is attracted to success and power. So, if you have those things, then you will automatically probably be attractive to a Capricorn. But also having the necessary personality to back those things up. Capricorn is the zodiac sign that's going to kind of vet you out, that's going to kind of screen you. Kind of like a job interview. Because, it's the 10th house, for goodness sakes. Before they even allow you to get them to the point of asking them out on a date, or taking them on a date. So, it's almost like, okay, we have nothing in common. Why? Okay, put this in the no thank you pile. You know what I'm saying, with Capricorn. So, it's tough. Definitely find what you have in common. Even if it's admiration for what they do, their work ethic, something like that. Kind of find a foot in the door with them, because these people are busy, they're hard workers, they have typically a life going on that they either don't talk about or you just don't see. They sometimes have so many different lives going on at the same time. Capricorn can be a lot. So, alright, let's move on now to the water signs. Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. Let's start with Cancer. So Cancer is ruled by the moon. These are all water signs. So these people tend to be emotional. So they like people who can emotionally connect with. So, moments, memories. Cancers love moments and memories. Typically, if you have a connection with them that dates back to childhood, or when you were children, that's typically a good in with Cancer. They typically like to keep those connections for a long time. Typically, as all the water signs do, kind of, especially Cancer and Scorpio. This is someone who's sentimental and sensitive. So connecting on that level, is really important. These people are super romantical too. These people love romance. So, being really, really romantic with these people, buying them flowers, buying them candy, buying them that one thing that, they really like. Remembering anniversaries, complimenting them on their beautiful hair that they wear every Thursday or something like that, showing that you notice things like that, like, things like that really matter to Cancer, like making them feel good, complimenting them and it being genuine, emotionally being there for them, emotionally sticking up for them. All of these things are really, really important. They like to feel protected. They like to feel safe. Emotionally safe and emotionally secure. So, making them feel that way is really important. Within the relationship itself, making them feel safe and secure. Like they can express themselves and you won't judge them. Not feeling judged and not being judgmental, I think, is going to be really important with the Cancer too. Being funny as well, being humorous, I think, is really important with the Cancer, not being so serious, because these people tend to be a little bit self-deprecating. They tend to be very funny. They like witty people, funny people, but also being in tune with your emotions, being in tune with their emotions. Cancers can sometimes like people or expect people to read their emotions. So, they really, really like people who are attentive and who are able to read their emotions, because these people are so good at reading other people's emotions. Remember, these people are ruled by the moon, and the moon deals with emotions, the inner self. So, alright, Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Neptune and Jupiter. So Pisces is a very dreamy, they're very shy, okay? So you typically may have to say something to the Pisces first. Alright, these are the types of people who can definitely beat around the bush, so you may have to kind of be the one to make the move. Alright, but these people are very, very dreamy. These people are very, very kind of wispy. So, Pisces can be really good at playing hard to get. And you just kind of have to know when they want to be, when they're playing get and when they're playing hard. You know? Because sometimes they can switch really quickly. Remember, they're super smart, super intuitive. So they tend to like people who are, artistic, who are, who have good taste in music, who are eclectic in some way, who are, romantic, because these people are ruled by Neptune, so they tend to like that kind of romantic kind of energy. These people like people who have depth. So have depth, be artistic, and don't be afraid to show if you have a music collection or something like that, like something cool if you collect something really spiritual or cool, because, Neptune rules metaphysics and spirituality and things like that. If you have any really cool books or something like that, or just a really cool hobby that you don't show many people because you think it's really weird and people would think you're crazy, show Pisces it and be like, I never tell anyone this, I never show anyone this, but maybe you might like this, maybe you might think it's really cool or something like that, because I always see you looking at these books online, or I always see you reading this, something like that, like also showing that you pay attention to them is really, but don't be stalkerish, of course, but, showing that you pay attention and is really important too. These are people who are very devoted, so they want to make sure that you know that you're loved, that you're cared for. So they like people who are equally as devoted and as attentive, alright? Very loyal, so these people like loyalty. These people, oddly enough, like to be saved, so they tend to, saving them, when not saving them all the time, because they can become addicted actually to this type of behavior, but, saving them. Saving them is really important to get with the Pisces, I think. They really like that kind of dynamic of being saved. Because they tend to be kind of a bit submissive, although they can definitely be dominant. So, but, this isn't, to mean that they like partners who are too assertive. Don't be too assertive, but, definitely understand that these people are gentle, gentle-hearted, and good-natured, okay? Lastly, we have Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto and Mars. So Scorpio is typically the predator. Alright, there's the predator and the prey. Scorpio is typically the one who kind of, watches the prey from afar and then kind of goes in, for their mark, I guess, Scorpio, how to get with the Scorpio? Never be too forward, never be too assertive, because sometimes there can be a fine line you tread with a Scorpio. Showing that you're interested, but doing it in a subtle way. Doing things for the Scorpio, but not interjecting yourself in their lives. Asking if they need help is really helpful, rather than kind of going in and let me help you with this. Asking if they need help is showing you care in those kind of subtle ways, because these are very subtle people at first, and then that subtlety is important to keep up throughout the duration, but definitely at first, be subtle. They like subtlety. That kind of actually turns them on. People who have the art of subtlety down is really good with Scorpios, because they have the art of subtlety down. Alright, so Scorpios like people who are assertive, who aren't afraid to be honest, who aren't afraid to kind of say how they feel. You know, Scorpio is the type of person who likes honesty. They like the truth. They value the truth. They value honesty. They value people who can come out outright and have the bravery to say, hey, I really find you interesting. I really find you intriguing or attractive. And I would love to take you out on a date and get to know you more. You know, what are your favorite restaurants? You know, what are your favorite types of foods to eat? Actually, that might be kind of weird to ask a Scorpio, so don't ask them that. But maybe, I don't know. You know, first of all, let them say yes or no, and then ask them. You know, what are your favorite restaurants? What do you like to eat? You know, never be too forward. Never assume with a Scorpio either. You know, never assume they're going to say yes. Never assume that they're going to agree, because that's the moment where they're not going to agree. You know. You know, knowing the art of subtlety, I think, is super duper important with Scorpio. Subtle cues that they give to kind of let you know where they stand, and understanding those cues, showing that you understand those cues. Not letting their depth scare you, not letting their depth scare you. Understanding when to back off, too, I think is really important with Scorpios, alright? Understanding when to back off. And understanding the boundaries, I think, is really important, alright? And knowing the art of subtlety, you know, and also knowing the art of being assertive and confident. Having confidence is very important with a Scorpio, alright? But it's a subtle confidence. It can be like a kind of quiet confidence, okay? Alright, you guys, this is how to get with the 12 zodiac signs in depth. Alright, thank you for purchasing this video. I hope I gave you some insights, and I hope you share with your friends and family. And please, if you would like your own personal, private, confidential psychic tarot reading, contact me on my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com, or email me at lamar.townsend@gmail.com. Subscribe and hit the bell next to the subscribe button. Also, please buy my ebook, Zodiac Signs Sex Language, on my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com, or on amazon.com, or Amazon Kindle. On Amazon, it's $9.99, and on my website, it's $15, okay? See you guys in the next video. And this lesson is complete. You have passed. Hey guys, thank you for listening and watching. Please hit the like button, share with your friends and your family, and also please subscribe, of course. And if you're interested in my ebook, check out my ebook, purchase it on my website or on Amazon. I would also love it if you would follow me on my social media, Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, thank you guys for listening and watching, and I'll catch you in the next video, alright?